October 27th, 1962, an American pilot was shot down over Cuba. In Washington, generals demanded immediate retaliation. In Moscow, a finger hovered over the button. What happened in the next 24 hours should never have been forgotten. To understand what happened in October 1962, you need to understand the world it happened in. A world split in two. On one side, the United States and its promise of democracy and capitalism. On the other, the Soviet Union and its vision of a global communist future. Two superpowers, two ideologies, and enough nuclear weapons to destroy the Earth 7 times over. In 1959, something shifted the board forever. A young lawyer named Fidel Castro seized power in Cuba, an island just 90 miles from the coast of Florida. Washington panicked. Moscow rejoiced. Khrushchev saw the perfect opportunity. If he could place nuclear missiles in Cuba, they would point directly at the heart of America, and in 1962, he began moving them in secret. October 14th, 1962, a CIA U-2 spy plane flew over Cuba at 70,000 feet. The photographs it took that day would change the course of history. Analysts took less than 24 hours to confirm it. Launch pads, Soviet ballistic missiles, capable of reaching New York, Washington, Chicago in under 3 minutes. On October 16th, at 8:45 in the morning, National Security Advisor McGeorge Bundy entered President Kennedy's bedroom. He showed him the photographs. Kennedy stared at them in silence for a long moment, then said just 3 words. "Are you sure?" They were sure. Kennedy formed a secret group of advisors called XCOM. 13 days of closed-door meetings. 13 days where the world stood at the edge of the abyss. The options on the table were brutal. Option 1, a surgical airstrike to destroy the missiles. Option 2, a full ground invasion of Cuba. Option 3, a naval blockade. The generals wanted war. Kennedy chose the blockade, and on October 22nd, he went on national television. That night, 100 million Americans sat in front of their TV sets. What they heard froze them. It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response. Within hours, supermarkets were emptied. Gas stations collapsed. People were building shelters in their backyards. The entire world held its breath. But the most dangerous moment didn't happen in the White House or the Kremlin. It happened in the depth of the Atlantic Ocean, and the world didn't know about it for decades. The Soviet submarine B-59 had been out of contact with Moscow for days. American warships had located it and were dropping depth charges, signals for it to surface. But Captain Valentin Savitsky didn't know that. He thought the war had already begun. The B-59 was carrying a nuclear torpedo. Savitsky gave the order to arm it. To launch, he needed authorization from 2 officers. 2 said yes. The third said no. Vasili Arkhipov, a man almost no one has ever heard of, is arguably the person who has saved more lives than anyone in human history. On October 28, 1962, Khrushchev announced he would remove the missiles from Cuba. In return, the United States promised not to invade the island, and secretly agreed to remove its own missiles from Turkey. The crisis was over. The world survived, but just barely. What the Cuban Missile Crisis left us wasn't just a diplomatic agreement. It was a brutal lesson in how fragile peace truly is. How many times history turned on a single decision, on a single person. Vasili Arkhipov died in 1998, probably never knowing he had saved the world. But today, I want you to ask yourself one question. What if Arkhipov had also said yes? What would the world look like today if that torpedo was launched? That is exactly what we're going to explore in the next video.